Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers waive third-year pro after busy trade deadline, report. The Pittsburgh Steelers acquired two new reinforcements before the 2024 NFL trade deadline, wide receiver Mike Williams and outside linebacker Preston Smith. In order to transfer both additions onto the 53-man roster, they had to cut one player. In the end, tight end/special teamer Rodney Williams was the odd man out. After acquiring two veterans via trade at the deadline, the Steelers are waiving Rodney Williams, per source, NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero informed on November 5. Not long after, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette beat reporter Ray Fittipaldo confirmed this news, while also adding a note about Williams' future. "I would expect Williams is back on the practice squad if no other team claims him," Fittipaldo predicted. The Steelers like him as a special teams player. They had been carrying 5 tight ends. Williams began his NFL career with the Denver Broncos, entering the league as an undrafted free agent. He was eventually cut by the Broncos during his rookie training camp, however, and the Steelers picked him up in September of 2022. With Pittsburgh, Williams has appeared in 19 regular season games and one playoff outing. Over that span, he's logged 294 special teams snaps and another 60 on offense. Pro Football Focus grades Williams as a slightly above-average special teamer throughout his career. He's earned ST marks of 67.9 in 2023 and 66.6 in 2024. Along with the Williams move, the Steelers' X account revealed that the team made two more cuts on November 5. Only these players were released off the practice squad, not the active roster. The Steelers also released tight end Rodney Williams from the 53-man roster and receiver Andy Isabella and linebacker Craig Young from the practice squad, team reporter Teresa Varley relayed with Steelers.com. Isabella is a former second-round talent that has bounced around the league for much of his career. His brief stop with the Steelers was particularly short, considering he only joined the Pittsburgh practice squad on October 25. In 43 regular season games and 3 playoff outings, Isabella has recorded 33 receptions for 447 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has also rushed for 10 yards on 6 carries and averaged 21.2 yards per kick return. Isabella spent the majority of his playing career with the Arizona Cardinals. Young was with the Steelers a little bit longer than Isabella. He signed with the practice squad on October 16, but, like his fellow departure, there's not much use for him as depth after trade deadline day. Pittsburgh traded for a wide receiver and an outside linebacker, and they will release a wide receiver and an outside linebacker. That's no coincidence. Young is a 23-year-old undrafted rookie that has yet to appear in an NFL game. Per Steelers Depot, he spent the summer with the Indianapolis Colts before ending up with the Steelers. After the trade deadline had come and gone, The Athletic released grades for each move that occurred, including the Steelers' deal for Smith. The Steelers boast one of the NFL's best starting pass rush tandems in T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith, and they also have a promising up-and-coming OLB in second-year pro Nick Herbig, The Athletic's Jeff Howe detailed on November 5. However, finding a quality fourth-edge rusher has been a challenge. NFL Rebels Week 9, Mike Hilton and Tavius Robinson balling out on defense, Kenny Yeboah off the IR. While the 2024 Ole Miss Rebels perform on Saturdays, 23 former players are at work on NFL rosters, while an additional 8 players are also on NFL rosters either on the practice squad or on injured reserve. As far as success at the NFL level, 315 Rebels have been taken in the draft since 1936, with 31 of them being selected to participate in at least one Pro Bowl. Ole Miss boasts 23 first-round draft picks and 18 players with a Super Bowl ring, with quarterback great Eli Manning having 2 rings in addition to his 2 Super Bowl MVP honors. The Rebels also have 3 former players enshrined in Canton, those being Bruiser Kennard, 1970, Gene Hickerson, 2007, and most recently Patrick Willis, 2024. Every week, Inside the Rebels will keep you up to date on what former Ole Miss Rebels are doing in the league currently and where they are at as the season progresses. In Week 9, Mike Hilton balled out for the Cincinnati Bengals again. He led the Bengals with 6 solo tackles. His PFF grades for defense, rushing defense, and tackling all ranked in the top 5 among cornerbacks this week, with his rushing defense grade ranking top in the NFL in Week 9. His PFF coverage grade was also stellar, ranking number 6. Veteran Cincinnati Bengals corner Mike Hilton had himself a game for his team and was among the best performing corners for this efforts in Week 9. He recorded 8 total tackles and led the team with 6 solos in a 41-24 win over the Las Vegas Raiders. One of his tackles was for loss, and his 89.9 PFF grade ranked 3rd among all cornerbacks in Week 9. His 87.1 grade on run defense ranked 1st in the league. Hilton now has 32 tackles on the season. Rookie safety Dijon Anthony did not see any action, while rookie defensive end Cedric Johnson played 17 snaps. Aaron Rodgers had classy message for Mike Williams after trade to Steelers. Veteran receiver Mike Williams signed with the New York Jets this offseason on a 1-year deal, and the plug has already been pulled. On Tuesday, news broke that the franchise had traded Williams to the Pittsburgh Steelers after a difficult start to the 2024 season in which the pass catcher never found a rhythm or developed chemistry with quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Williams will now attempt to do so in the Steel City, catching passes from Russell Wilson. The shaky relationship between Williams and Rodgers was a big storyline during the Jets' early season struggles. Things came to a head after the quarterback called out Williams for causing an interception for running the wrong route in a Week 6 loss to the Buffalo Bills. Rodgers barely looked Williams' way after that, but it didn't prevent the QB from delivering a classy farewell upon learning of the trade on Tuesday. Reacting live on the Pat McAfee Show, Rodgers wished Williams the best. "Mike had a rough injury last year," Rodgers said. "An ACL is tough to come back from. And he worked his ass off all offseason, wasn't around for a lot of training camp, he was working on the side. But I felt like he was getting better throughout the early part of the season. I felt like his speed was getting better and he was feeling more comfortable. That's a tough injury. I had that injury. It's the mental part that takes the longest. But Mike's a good guy. He'll be good in that locker room, obviously got a lot of great veteran leadership. He's had a nice career. And sometimes a change of scenery is great for certain guys. If this gives Mike more opportunities, that's awesome, and we wish him well." As pointed out by Rodgers, Williams' circumstances in New York changed once the Davante Adams trade was executed. Adding another top wideout meant fewer targets for everybody, and that may not be what Williams signed up for when he agreed to join the Jets in free agency. Regardless, it's obvious he never had a rapport with Rodgers, and that is a requirement for any receiver in any NFL offense. Perhaps he'll have better luck in Pittsburgh on that front. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Mike Williams? Leave your opinion in the comments.